considered optical isomerism. And with optical isomerism, we have a carbon with 4 different groups attached. So when you look on your handout, if I have a hydrogen and a hydroxyl group, and a CH3, and on this end I have a CH2 and a CH3. This carbon right here, where we have these 4 different connections, is said to be chiral, which means asymmetric, without symmetry. What we discover is that a chiral carbon is optically active, and we'll discuss this term optically active in greater detail a little bit later in the semester. If I draw a mirror plane and reflect at 90-degree angles across this plane, I would see a mirror image of this chiral carbon. Thus, I would have a mirror image of this molecule. The mirror image is said to be an enantiomer. And the enantiomer, likewise, is chiral as well. The two are related to each other through this mirror plane. And notice that when I drew the mirror image, I reflected directly across at 90-degree angles. And I drew the mirror image of this asymmetric chiral molecule. And so I have a mirror image of this chiral molecule called an enantiomer, and it's non-superimposable. What does that mean? That means that if I were to, for example, take my left hand, which is asymmetric, hold it up to a mirror, I would reflect directly across on the mirror, and I would form my right hand. The two substances, or the two hands, are asymmetric. They're the same in lots of ways, same DNA in this pinky as it is in this pinky, but they're not superimposable, like thumbs don't match. So here we have a situation where chiral asymmetric molecules will produce a non-superimposable mirror image of each other. And later this semester we'll have a whole chapter on this concept. But for now, you just want to recognize that a carbon with 4 different groups attached is considered to be asymmetric and chiral, and shows an idea called optical isomerism. And this idea was introduced in general chemistry when you looked at transition metal complexes that were chiral as well. So if you go back to your notes and look at transition metal complexes, where we had asked you to draw all isomers of this octahedral complex, sometimes we produced complexes that showed both cis and trans geometric isomerism, but there were situations where we produced molecules that were chiral. We produced octahedral complexes that were chiral. So this idea of chirality is actually a billion-dollar business. I'll give you an example. Morphine is chiral. One form of morphine kills the pain, and the other form of morphine, the other enantiomer, kills not only the pain but the patient. Likewise, amino acids are chiral, and we only use L-amino acids with synthesizing peptides that eventually end up in the protein, and our body only metabolizes these sugars. So this idea of chirality is a really important one to us, not only as chemists, but also to the biologists. And so we'll have a whole chapter on this idea of chirality, asymmetry, and enantiomers But for now, all you need to know is that a carbon with 4 different groups attached is considered to be chiral asymmetric, which produces an enantiomer. Again, these enantiomers, or the concept of enantiomers, was discussed in general chemistry when you looked at octahedral complexes. And later we'll discuss what this term optical activity means later in the semester. I hope you found this video to be helpful, and this is the last aspect of the experiment. So please complete the assignment, and we will turn it in very soon.